Hey, my trendies, trendsetters, and my trendy tribe. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, distracting one. I like your picture. I'll make sure y'all can hear me. Okay, Bonnie said y'all can hear me. Let me say some good mornings. I have announcements and then we get into the topic. Um, Please do not expose the lack of common sense if you don't realize that you can just skip ahead if you're in the replay. Please don't do it. Because I don't understand how people fuss at us content creators when we're live and you could just skip ahead and you're in the comments after the live ended. I don't understand. Okay. Good morning, Pamela Johnson. She was in here at 4:45 a.m. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Bonnie. Hi, LaQuanda. Hey, Glow. Baby Peaches. Butterfly Kisses. Elisa Triplett. Shirley Macklin. Distracting One. Good morning, Ray Mel. April with the 2 L's. Yes. So the weekend is where I'm freed up to try to get out all the content I wanted to talk to y'all about. So you'll see me probably be kind of scarce during the week again, possibly. We'll see. But yeah, the weekend is where I can kind of at least try to catch up with y'all. But you're right. That's where it's been happening, April. Let me see. You're welcome, Distracting One. Haley's Grandma Plus One and Miss Blade. Good morning to my super early birds. Because not only are you up early, you're up early on a Sunday morning. So you are super early birds. So good morning. Good morning. Okay. Announcements real fast and so we can get into the topics. First of all, Nightbot will be dropping the link to vote for Melody. You can vote once a day for the Reality Queen category. And I did my vote for today. So please look out for Nightbot dropping that link. Obviously, the Melometers have been out here talking about it. This is where I feel obviously we're on something that's loving Marriage Huntsville. So I'm over here, adding my voice to it. But shout out to the content creators that's been talking about it. So if you would like to, you can go ahead and vote. Okay, and then today is Sunday, so at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 41 Fit and I will be recapping episode 8, House of the Dragons, which was the season finale episode. Let me see. We have a Love and Marriage Huntsville watch along for last night's episode for the members at 10:30 this morning. I got to set my alarm to make sure I don't forget I said that because we haven't done it for a while. They weren't showing Melody too much and I got out of the groove. So, but we're watching it today. So I know y'all have seen it. So you'll mostly be keeping us company that either didn't get to watch it last night or you want to rewatch it to kind of see if you missed anything. All right. And last, there I have a show coming out. It's going to be Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All I have for you is the teaser right now. You will get more context when you show up at Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me play this. It's only 5 seconds. It's a very short clip. All right, all right. Okay, so good morning to everyone coming in, and good morning to the replay gang, the replay delegation later on. Let me go ahead and get this off of here and let's get started. Shout out to the Trendies. They did sponsor these court documents. The cost of court documents add up fast. So every time I try to make sure I take the time to say thank you, because I couldn't have got this without y'all. So I definitely appreciate it. And I'm starting from, let me make sure I say this the right way. I've already gone over the original divorce documents, and those are linked in the description box if you'd like to review those. Now we're starting from when LeBeric had to reopen and do a different petition pertaining to their divorce settlement decree. So that's where we're at now. So we're starting with that petition, and that was filed September 20th, 2023. And we will, not in this live because it's too much, it's too much to put on y'all in one live, but we will work our way up to August 2024, where we all know now about the order that was put out there for Destiny to pay about $19,000. And she did face like a few days in jail. Don't know if she actually went to jail, but she got a few days. So we will talk about that. And let me make sure I say this. The story broke about Destiny's conviction because this was a civil and criminal contempt of court. It broke from the content creator named T from TV. I hope I'm saying that right. So shout out to them, because that is where like when it went like wildfire, that's where mostly what I heard, everybody heard it from. All right. Oh, here we go. Here we go with the Virgos. Y'all, that's why Leos get on y'all's nerves, because I know it's Virgo season, but Leo season technically never ends, Justine. But now, happy birthday to the Virgos. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so I'm starting this with the interrogatories that LeBeric and his attorney are asking from Destiny and her attorney, and the discovery. And then we're going to go back up to the actual petition that was filed on everything that LeBeric and his attorney claimed she was violating. Okay, so that's how we're doing this. All right, so first of all, these are the interrogatories. This is what they wanted from Destiny and her attorney. So they wanted her to identify each person who has knowledge of any relevant or material fact related to this action. Identify each person whom you expect to call as an expert witness to give testimony in this action. State your present occupation and address of present employer. I just want to remind y'all right now, this document was filed September 20th, 2023. List all income from whatever sources which you have received for each year since your divorce, including the year of your divorce. List all income from whatever sources which you received from January 1st of this current year to date. Have you prepared a financial statement for any purpose since the divorce? Identify by providing the address or addresses of all real property which you own or have any interest in at the present time. Have your personal expenses increase since the date of the divorce. Provide an itemized list of your average monthly expenses for the last 12 months. State whether your monthly living expenses referred to in the preceding interrogatory includes the support of any person other than yourself. List all individuals to whom you owe a duty of support. Have you kept any books of accounts or records of your financial affairs during the last 3 years? Do you have an accountant? Do you have an interest in any corporation, partnership, sole proprietorship? Identify each and every employer or other person or entity that has paid you income since your divorce to the opposing party herein. Have you ever been convicted of any crimes or misdemeanors? If so, give dates and nature of offenses, jurisdictions, and penalties imposed. Are you aware that your answers to these interrogatories are made under oath? Are you aware that your answers to these interrogatories may be used as material testimony in the event of a trial or hearing in this action? And then for the request for production, not discovery, request for production. They're requesting a copy of Destiny's federal and state income tax returns for the past 5 years or since the entry of the divorce decree if you and your ex-spouse were divorced fewer than 5 years ago. Copies of all documents other than federal or state income tax returns of any kind which reflects monies received by you from any source whatsoever during the past 3 years. The original or legible copy of any report of benefits provided by your employer to you. The original or legible copies of all documents reflecting each parcel of real property in which any right, title, or interest is held or claimed by or for you or for your benefit. All records, bills of sale, deeds, titles, and documents regarding any real and or personal property sold by you, given away by you, or disposed of by you in any manner at any time within the past 3 years. All documents reflecting each automobile or other motor vehicle, including without limitation, cars, boats, planes, farm equipment, ATVs, etc., presently owned or leased by you or for your use or benefit. The original or legible copies of any life insurance policies insuring your life. The original or legible copy of any checkbook or books, including monthly statements and canceled checks from which checks are drawn on any checking account, kept or maintained by you individually or jointly for the preceding 3-year period. The original or legible copy of any document indicating any indebtedness currently owed by you. And you know the bankruptcy part, so you know that came into play with she did file bankruptcy during this time. All writings reflecting each contract or agreement of every kind and nature whatsoever entered into by or for you or any business entity in which any right, title, or interest is held by you or for your benefit. Copies of all documents reflecting any credit card or charge accounts. The original or legible copy of any and all loan applications you or anyone on your behalf have prepared for any person, entity, or financial institution within the past 3 years. Can y'all please confirm you can hear me right now? Because whenever I see a number 2, that makes me think that my mic is bad. So I just need a quick sound check. Let me know if y'all can still hear me, if everything's okay. I just want to double check. Okay. Okay, thank you, American Born. Just making sure. All right. Copies of all reports, photographs, videotapes, audio tapes, or other electronic renditions of persons and events, and all documents relating thereto, prepared at the behest of investigators or other individuals employed by you or on your behalf in connection with or in preparation of this action. Copies of any and all reports, photographs, videotapes, and or audio tapes made by you or someone on your behalf in connection with or in preparation of this action. Copies of any email communications between you and your ex-spouse or between your ex-spouse and any other person that are in your possession or control that relate to any issue in this action. Copies of any text message communications between you and your ex-spouse or between your ex-spouse and any other person that are in your possession or control that relate to any issue in this action. Copies of documents reflecting statements, photographs, or other information present on any social media accounts, if same relate in any way to your ex-spouse. All documents reflecting monies paid, loaned, or otherwise delivered by you to any person or entity other than your living expenses within the past 3 years. A copy of your most recent resume. That one was interesting. To have a copy of her most recent resume to be part of the production list. That was interesting to me. It also says copies of any and all writings or documentation of any kind reflecting your arrest for a violation of any law, ordinance, or regulation of any municipality, county, or state, including but not limited to incident reports, police reports, and court documents. All documentation of any kind reflecting any lawsuits to which you have been a party since your divorce to your ex-spouse, including but not limited to court pleadings and all court exhibits if you have any copies of exhibits in your possession. A copy of any last will and testament you have executed prior to today's date. copies of any and all documents that in any way impeach the credibility of your ex-spouse, copies of any documents or audio recordings which reflect statements made by your ex-spouse, copies of all federal and state business tax returns, the original or legible copy of any photograph, file records, letter, diary, card, document, recording, or statement in your possession or access, which you intend to introduce into evidence at trial in this action, all documents of any kind and or tangible evidence which pertains in any way, whether directly or indirectly, to any issue, claim, counterclaim, or defense presented in this action, regardless of whether you or your attorney have decided whether the same will be introduced as an exhibit or used in any other way in the trial of this action. And if you just came in, I'm getting to now the actual petition for contempt, and I'm going to put it up here so it'll help me timestamp my stuff real fast so I can see it visually when I do my timestamp. Okay. All right. So we have LeBaric Williams versus Destiny Williams. This is his petition for contempt. This was filed again September 20th, 2023. It says, the plaintiff, LeBaric Williams, by and through the undersigned counsel, files the above entitled petition against the defendant. The parties hereto were divorced by judgment of this court, hereafter the prior decree, on or about April 12th, 2021. The prior decree adopted and incorporated a settlement agreement, hereafter the divorce agreement entered into by the parties dated April 9th, 2021. The divorce agreement detailed the disposition of the former marital residence. The agreement states in part that, quote, the wife shall not place any liens on marital residence, place a second mortgage on the marital residence, or authorize any third parties to place a lien on the marital residence, end quote. Subsequent to the entry of the prior decree, the plaintiff filed a contempt and modification action against the defendant. Said action was resolved by a modification agreement entered into by the parties on April 28, 2023, hereafter the modification agreement. Said agreement was adopted and incorporated by the court in a final order of modification dated May 1st, 2023. Since the entry of the last order, the defendant has willfully and deliberately refused to abide by the said decree by failing or refusing to pay her portion of the guardian ad litem fees. Further, the defendant's willful failure to pay her own debts, leading to monetary judgments being entered against her and liens thereafter being placed on the marital residence, is tantamount to authorizing her individual creditors to place liens upon the formal marital residence in violation of the terms of the prior decree. These contemptuous actions by the defendant have likely eliminated all of equity in the home, over half of which was awarded to the plaintiff in the prior decree. The modification agreement entered into by the parties dismissed all claims of contempt without prejudice, without is bolded. Further, the agreement stated, upon any further instance of contempt committed by a party and the filing of a petition before this court thereon, the parties may revive claims of contempt made in this action for final disposition in any subsequent action. Okay, so since the modification agreement was entered without prejudice, that means it could be revisited. It has now been revisited. And let me see. I wanted to see one other thing. Okay, it says upon any further instance. I just wanted to make sure about that timeline, about if they could revisit other stuff she had did prior to the modification, or it had to be after that. So it says upon any further instance of contempt committed. Okay. All right. It says due to the new contemptuous acts by the defendant, the petitioner revives all of his previous claims for contempt in the prior modification action, specifically that the defendant has willfully and deliberately refused to abide by the divorce decree by doing the following: failing to pay the uninsured medical costs of the minor child. And just to give context from what I remember when we looked at the original divorce documents, I think LeBaric had to cover what he covered under his insurance. And then I think if there was like the out of out-of-pocket costs, that may have been what Destiny should have covered. That's from memory, so don't hold me to that too much. But I could possibly see that if you're the primary insurance holder, y'all probably would have an agreement that the out-of-pocket costs might come out of the other parents' income. Then it says also withholding the minor child from the plaintiff and otherwise refusing to allow him to exercise his custodial time on numerous occasions, repeatedly being late for custodial swaps, refusing to give the father reasonable telephone access to the minor child during her custodial time, refusing or failing to inform the plaintiff of medical appointments of the minor child, refusing to provide makeup days to the father for missed visitation, failing to provide items of personal property awarded to the plaintiff in the judgment of divorce. And we did, I believe, go over that list of property. Intentionally frustrating and interfering with the efforts of the plaintiff to sell the formal marital residence, including by refusing to show the house to potential buyers and removing for sale signs from the property. So she was accused of hindering the sale, allowing a third party, upon information and belief, a former employee of the defendant's business to reside at the marital residence with the party's minor child. Did y'all know about this? Because that one slipped my radar. That there was at this point, depending on what the order at the end, or not the order. Well, the order still holds her in contempt at the end, but these are all his allegations, and some are all stuck, obviously. I didn't know about the former employee being at her marital residence. Now, I'm not saying we should have known. I'm just saying, sometimes things get out and we talk about it. Also, refusing or failing to pay her portion of the necessary repairs for the formal marital residence. Okay, you didn't hear it either. Okay. Okay, Bonnie said, no, that's wild. Now, that's wild, removing the for sale signs. And you didn't hear that about okay, just making sure, because I missed some things. Refusing or failing to make full payments towards the mortgage and escrow payments on the marital residence. Consistently failing or refusing to respect the privacy of the plaintiff by publishing details related to the plaintiff, his family, and his career on a variety of media outlets, including but not limited to the following. Right. I'm like, who's the former employee? Like, I'm not gonna lie, my brain I was like, who is it? So these are the ones that he said she was publishing details related to him and his family and his career. So one of them listed is the television series Love and Marriage Huntsville, the YouTube program The Unbreakable with Destiny Payton, which is her, that's on her YouTube channel, the streaming web series OLFP, Ooh Ladies First Panel. Most of us are familiar with them. She did her interviews on there. The Instagram live publication Morning Mindset with Ty, the television show The Nightcap with Carlos King, on her musical recording on 10. Oh, dang, Destiny, you can't even write songs about it. Ooh, that was a bad settlement. Oh, goodness. Okay. On the television show Woman to Woman. Now, I will say this. I wanted to see, because what wasn't mentioned was the Dear Future Wifey podcast. And that is because this was filed September 20th, 2023. She did the interview with Dear Future Wifey podcast on January 17th, 2024. It also says the defendant's violations of the prior decree are willful, and therefore the defendant is in civil and criminal contempt of this court. As a result of the defendant's failure to abide by the prior decree and modification order, the plaintiff has incurred attorney's fees and costs in this action to enforce the terms of the said decree. The facts and circumstances warrant an award of attorney's fees to the plaintiff. Wherefore, the plaintiff requests the court to take jurisdiction of this petition, and that upon a final hearing, your honor will grant unto the plaintiff the following relief. Finding the defendant, Destiny L. Williams, and yes, I believe now her name is legally back to Payton, but right now for this document it's still Williams, to be in knowing and willful civil and criminal contempt of the court's prior orders, by punishing the defendant, Destiny L. Williams, for said contempt as allowed by Alabama law, including 5 days incarceration for each separate act of contempt, by punishing the defendant, Destiny L. Williams, for said contempt as allowed by Alabama law by imposing a fine, by awarding the plaintiff a judgment for the entirety of the amount of the homestead exempt portion of the marital residence proceeds, by awarding the plaintiff attorney fees and costs incurred in this matter, by granting any additional relief to which in equity and good conscience the plaintiff may be entitled in the premises. Okay, and then signed by his attorney. Nanny of the Maroon said, let us find out Moses is the former employee. Child, Destiny's useless life coach is going to get you on the next Desperate Mondays. Not Desperate Mondays. Episode for pulling up these juicy court docs. Well, I'm going to tell you what, with the way her, the person, cause I don't know, she does say life coach, so we'll say life coach. With the way I don't see how she's helping Destiny, I don't even mind. Because there's not much you can tell me that you're going to make me think about myself, and this is your client sitting on this show with you. It's not going to get me. I'm sorry. Because what can you say when this is the product of your client that is on this thing with you? And I already don't think it's a good idea to be on there with her client anyway, especially not this client. That's just my opinion. But so yes. Oh, now, and the other part of your thing, so when I first saw something about someone staying in the house, I immediately thought Moses, but I was like, Destiny, would you have named him your former employee? Like, for real, would you have done that? Oh my gosh, I hope not. I really hope not. Lovable Scorpion says she was thinking the same thing. Goodness. Well, for those of y'all that want to do a rewatch with me this morning, we'll be watching the Love and Marriage Huntsville episode over. I already dropped the link for the members. We'll be watching that at 10:30 this morning, Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come on over with me, if y'all are in the replay gang, you'll still hear this. You'll have a couple hours if you're just waking up and everything. But I have a couple of other court documents, but I just have to say again, the court documents, they're not free. They cost a little bit. So if you are able to, and only if you are able to, my Cash App and Venmo are trending at some point so I can go get the other documents. This document was sponsored by the Trendies, of course, and we will follow the timeline up until August 2024. That's it for now. I will get y'all caught up in the next one for a part 2. But I just wanted to at least start off with the foundation of what did LeBerry specifically take Destiny back to court for after they had their divorce decree and their settlement agreement. So that's where we are right now. I didn't even keep you long. All right. So let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I will see y'all soon. Talk to you later. Bye. I've been taking my time, taking all of your time, taking all of your time.